Hello, good morning, and welcome to this week's serving of Mickey Waffles, a Disney podcast where we cover everything from parks, movies, and merchandise. My name's Sinead.
My name's Kate. Hi guys, how's it going?
I'm good, Kate. How are you?
I'm doing okay. Who knows how much longer this podcast is gonna be around for though, because I can't keep talking about negative shit. I just can't do it.
Yeah, we had a bit of a chat beforehand about how just generally miffed we are at Disney in general.
They're just shit.
In all facets.
They're currently being a terrible company, and I didn't think they could get much worse from their COVID times, and yet here we are.
So this will be a fun episode.
Yeah, our main topic of the podcast will definitely be what everyone's been covering for the past week, so you'll probably hear nothing new from us, but you'll hear it through our voices.
Exactly.
And that's exactly what you've all tuned in for.
Exactly.
But
so what have you been up to?
Nothing really. Oh my god, do you know what we watched last night? The Tower of Terror movie.
I've never seen it.
It's not on Disney Plus. We have to watch it on YouTube.
Nice.
It's uploaded in full, like, what year was it released? 2000 and something. It's like no, was it 2000 something?
I don't know.
I think it was. Sorry, now I have to check. So, 1997.
Okay.
It was remastered. That's the word I was looking for. Jesus
Christ.
Okay. It was remastered and everything and put up onto YouTube. So,
love when they do stuff like that.
You can watch it there, because apparently Disney Plus can't be arsed putting their own content on their own streaming service.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a straight to video movie. And
okay.
I thought it was pretty good for a straight to video. Like,
better than the Haunted Mansion movie?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it was the first one. The Tower of Terror is the first
attraction-based one?
ride to movie adaptation.
Oh, cool.
And when people talk about the Tower of Terror, because we were watching a video about it, and then we decided to actually watch the movie. Yeah. And in the movie where they talked about it, people would always say how it's a good one because it actually pays homage to the ride, and it actually makes sense. Whereas all the ones that come after that are just absolute nonsense with celebrities in them, and they don't make any fucking sense with the ride.
Yes,
but the Tower of Terror one does.
Excellent.
It literally follows the proper characters, and it makes sense, and that's the whole story of the movie, is to try and save them because they're stuck. And I'm like, wow. This I thought it was pretty good. I liked it.
Nice. I will add it to the list. Have you watched the Tower of Terror episode of Behind the Attraction?
I haven't watched a single episode of Behind the Attraction.
Fair. The Tower of Terror one is good. It's a little misleading, I have to say. Because
really?
The DLP one, they're like, when we got to Paris, we wanted to pick out a character and focus it on the little girl character. And I'm like, lads, you have done that in the last 2 years. Like, it wasn't like from opening day. Like, stop bullshitting, will you? They literally make it sound like from day one they wanted to make it different.
I mean, like, it's different now, which is great, but don't be doing that.
What I will say about the Behind the Attractions, now I haven't watched the Jungle Cruise one because everyone kept telling me how utterly cringe the Jungle Cruise one, because Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is the producer of the show. Mm-hmm. So obviously I think he had a lot of hands on the Jungle Cruise one, but I've watched all the rest of them. I have to say, it makes DLP look real good.
Oh, really? Because they pick all the best bits, do they?
But it's also the fact that, so I've watched most of the episodes with Adam. The only one that I haven't watched with him was Jungle Cruise and then also Star Tours, because Adam's never been on Star Tours and he doesn't want to like ruin it for himself. So we've watched all the rest of them though, and every single other attraction, we did this in Disneyland, we slightly tweaked it for Disney World, then we put the same thing in Tokyo and Hong Kong, and then Paris we just did something different. And it's like, he's like, how come Paris just gets all this like different cool stuff? And I'm like, one, might be over edging it there a little bit, but also because they clearly just thought they couldn't get away with doing the same thing again and again and again. But it really does highlight the fact that they took whatever they'd done in the other two parks and just fecked that over to the Asian parks. And we're like, Paris, you get something different. Especially the Space Mountain one is a real indicator of that, but that's because like DLP Space Mountain is beautiful compared to all the rest of them.
It's also a much better ride.
Agreed.
Never been on regular Space Mountain, but I guarantee you, I know for a fact the DLP one's way better.
Yeah. It is interesting, though, because the way they've done most of them, it's like, so the Star Tours one, there's like maybe like half the episode is about Star Tours, and then the rest is an ad for Galaxy's Edge. And then the Space Mountain one is kind of like an ad for like, and here's Tron. Look at shiny.
Oh, that's weird.
Look at shiny Tron. Look at what we're doing here. This is new Space Mountain. And it's like, no, it's not.
Tron that won't be finished for the next 3 years. Tron.
Yeah. But yeah, a lot of them are kind of like, here's the attraction. Here's an ad for, like the Tower of Terror one is then like an ad for Mission Breakout in California, because there's a whole big thing about Joe Rody doing that.
Right.
So it's just kind of like a, hey, look at this thing they're doing.
Well, I mean, like the end of that Tower of Terror movie was basically an ad for the ride.
Nice.
Because they drop. Spoiler, they drop. At the end of the movie, the lift drops.
Pulled.
No, they drop. Straight up fucking drops, because they're supposed to die.
Oh, nice.
And a controlled pull wouldn't kill you. A drop would, though.
Fair.
And it's literally like, it's just like a 3D rendition of the ride. It's great. But the other thing about the Tower of Terror movie is they filmed a lot of the interior in the interior of the ride.
Okay.
So there's really tight shots every now and again where obviously like they can't show like the turnstile or like, you know, the bits that actually make it a ride, because they obviously could strip it out to film in it to put it back, because that'd be a waste of money. That would defeat the purpose of using the ride as a set. So there's like a good like 3-minute scene of like really tight shots everywhere, because it's like, don't show the queue, don't show the turnstiles. Fucking Jesus Christ. It's just very funny when you know what's there. I'm like, oh, this is good crack.
Yes. Love it.
So yeah, I feel like that's the only Disney.
Have you watched anything else interesting?
We've been watching What If.
Oh yeah.
We like What If. People apparently weren't too fond of the first one. We didn't mind the first one.
I was the opposite. Loved the first episode. The second episode kind of drove me up the wall.
Oh, I loved the second episode. I thought it was fantastic.
What? I think my issue was the first one, and the reason why the What If happened kind of made sense. Like, that felt like that was a tangible thing that could actually happen.
I don't think it's meant to make sense, though.
No, I know, but I think it was just the Thanos. The Thanos greatly pissed me off. I was like, why is it
that was
here?
Great. It was perfect.
No,
it was so good.
I was not keen on the Thanos.
I think the problem was that the first one was kind of like, oh, what if this teeny tiny thing changed?
Yeah.
That then turned into this big thing. But I actually think the series is meant to be, what if this huge thing happened, and that meant that all of these other huge things never happened, or happened in a different way?
Yeah.
Because I think that's what the series is meant to be.
Yeah, I think it was just Thanos. The rest of it I was on board with. It was just Thanos I just couldn't deal with. But I think the animation in it is amazing. Like, it looks beautiful.
Also, the voice acting in the second episode was wildly better than the voice acting in the first episode.
Yeah.
Sebastian Stan, we love you, but you could have just tried that a little bit more.
Could have just, kind of phoned it in.
Literally, yeah. It's very much like, okay, you got me for about 10 to 15 minutes. What do you want me to say?
Little bit.
I'm going.
A little bit. I am enjoying having a nice little weekly show. I do enjoy.
Yeah, not having a weekly show like this. It's a bit sad not having a weekly show now, to be honest.
Yeah. Isn't it so funny though? Because we're the generation of people that like binge watch things and like having everything available all at once. And when shows started to do weekly, we were like, fuck's sake, about now I bloody love having a weekly show. I love it.
I think it's still got a lot to do with the fact that we can't do all the things that we normally would usually do still. Like, everything's still like slightly restricted in some ways, or it's like you have to make sure you book that 2 weeks in advance, otherwise you're not going to get it, or blah blah blah. And I still feel like we really liked that. Well, this will definitely happen next week.
Structure, yes.
Which we're still all kind of lacking.
Yeah.
So I think that's a big player in it. Like,
this makes good sense.
So I just remember, like, back with WandaVision, like, it was the only thing to look forward to every week. That's all we had.
Yeah,
couldn't do anything else.
I saw a tweet the other day, and it was like, if someone asked me to relive any like 6 to 7 month period in my life, that would be fine. If anyone asked me to relive October 2020 to April 2021, not for fucking love nor money would I agree to that. And I was like, oh, big same.
Yeah,
I was big same. That was a bleak period of time.
Just WandaVision getting us through.
Yikes.
Sorry, yeah, I just remembered the other thing we're watching the MCU in timeline order instead of release order. We started doing that because we've never watched it in timeline order.
Okay.
It's weird because obviously they were all released at different times and they all had different foresights when they were being made. So, so it was Captain America, then Captain Marvel, and then Iron Man. And that's as far as we've gotten. We're not deep into it yet, but we've started. And so far, the only thing that makes sense is the fact that Nick Fury is going around and collecting Avengers. That is the only thing that makes sense. Is that he met Captain America, like Captain America happened, and he woke up, and Nick was like, wow, shit, we need more of these. Mm-hmm. Then Captain Marvel happened, and he was like, oh my god, gotta go get this woman now, because blah, blah, blah. And then in Iron Man, he's like, hey, I'm doing this thing. I have these people. Would you like to... That is the only thing that makes sense. Nothing else works.
Yeah.
In the first two movies, they're called S.H.I.E.L.D. By the time you get to Iron Man, there's still the strategic something. They're not called S.H.I.E.L.D. yet. So they don't become S.H.I.E.L.D. until the end of the movie.
Yeah.
And like, obviously at the end of Captain Marvel, she gives him his little pager back. And is like, if you need me, call me. And you're like, fuck off. There is no way. For all the stuff we're about to watch in the next couple of weeks, you're telling me the only time she needed to be called was when not even Nick Fury made that decision because he disappeared. I was like, that's bullshit.
Yeah, I remember a couple of weeks ago, a girl on my team asked, she wanted to start watching the MCU, and she was like, she was like, there's so many like different, like, people say different things, and I was like, watch them in the order that they were released.
Otherwise, they don't make any sense.
I was like, unless you've watched everything and you know all the stories and stuff, I was like, then for fun you can do timeline order.
Literally for fun. That's literally what we're doing.
Otherwise, it'll make not a blind bit of sense to you.
Especially because we watched the mid-credit and after-credit scenes as well. Wild.
Oh man.
Wild.
Shit me, yeah, no.
Like after the Captain America one, it was like the Avengers will return. And it's like, who's gonna return? And then after Captain Marvel, obviously it was in the middle of the blip, and it's like, Captain Marvel will return. You're like, what the fuck?
Oh, wild. Yeah, no.
So yeah, we're on Iron Man 2 is our next movie, which is going to be interesting because we watched a documentary on YouTube a while ago about Jon Favreau and the movie Chef. Okay. Where Chef is based on the trials and tribulations he suffered while trying to make Iron Man 2.
Oh, gas.
And so I've obviously watched Chef. It's a fucking fantastic movie. If you've never watched Chef, you should go watch Chef. It's great. So we watched Chef, and I was like, do you really think this is based on like the fact that he had no creative control over Iron Man 2? And I was like, absolutely. I was like, wow, okay. And it gives you such a different spin on watching such a great movie. So now it's going to be interesting to go back and watch Iron Man 2 and look at all the things that he wasn't allowed to do.
Wild.
Crazy, right? Cinema, film, wow.
Madness. Complete and utter madness.
So yeah, that's all I've been doing.
Nice. Nice. Before I forget, and before we move on too far from Marvel, because it's in my head, and I'll say it now, because I mean, it's not news that Scarlett Johansson is suing Marvel and the Walt Disney Company.
And Disney are like, oh, but COVID, it's a hard time for everyone.
Yeah. So a couple of weeks ago, our friend Sandy, who I'll mention again in a minute, Glow-Teeny Genie, Glitter and Bows, does the jackets. Sandy.
Here, we give her so many shouts out. So at what point is she paying us?
I mean, we get all these lovely suggestions from her. So she sent me a link a good few weeks ago to a podcast. It's called The Emily Show. And it's this woman based in America. She's a former prosecutor. And basically...
Oh my God, I thought you were going to say former prostitute.
No, former prosecutor. And basically any, like, lawsuits and, like, legal shit going on in, like, the pop culture sphere, She will break down and explain the lawsuit. So everything that's been going on with the Britney Spears conservatorship, she has like broken that down like bit by bit. There are tons of episodes about it. She fully explains the thing and kind of tears out the legal jargon. So she put an episode last week about this Scarlett Johansson lawsuit, and I'll leave a link to it in the show notes. It's fantastic. so good. I will say she says Disney instead of Disney, which greatly irks me. But after about 2 minutes, you kind of...
Okay, I get over it. I'll get over it.
You get over it. But basically, so in 2017, Scarlett Johansson signed her contract for Black Widow, and it was stipulated in her contract that the bulk of her fee from it would go from box office sales, and it would have the standard cinema release all the rest of the MCU movies have had, which is a minimum of I think 7 to 10 weeks purely in the box office. Then obviously Disney announced Disney Plus. When Disney Plus was announced, she went back to Marvel and said,
hey,
hi, hello, this is still on my contract. And they were like, yeah, that is still your contract. You will get the same release schedule that we've had for all other standalone movies. Grand. Then obviously when COVID hit, she reached back out to Marvel to renegotiate her contract, and they never responded.
Imagine not responding to Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah.
Just not responding. Not even being like, hey, we'll catch up. We're kind of busy making sure our parks don't explode.
Yeah.
But just not replying.
Yeah.
Leaving her on scene.
Yeah. So she's suing them because she didn't get the release that was stipulated in her contract. And if they wanted to release it on Disney Plus as well and Premier Access, they should have renegotiated her contract. That is, either way, regardless of a pandemic.
Yeah.
They restated her contract in 2019. Obviously whatever any of us knew would happen with COVID, but they still broke her contract. But part of her suit is the fact that, and it's well documented, that Marvel fans go to the cinema multiple times to see Marvel movies. You're a prime example of that. You've gone to most Marvel movies multiple times in the last couple of years.
Yes. Easily.
Whereas with
especially especially the really important ones.
Yeah.
Because you go the first time to be like, holy shit. You go the second time to be like, okay. And you notice the other shit. And then you probably go a third time because you're like, wow, that was such a good movie.
Exactly. And she has statistics based off that, because a number of websites did a whole article about the fact that for whatever it is about Marvel fans, they go back and watch movies multiple times. So obviously not only is she missing out on the box office revenue, but she's missing out on the repeat box office
tickets. Like,
yeah, because it's a one-time fee. And when you think about it, like, I probably would have paid to go see Black Widow. So that would have been, me and Adam would have been 2 cinema tickets at the very least, whereas what I actually did was send Sandy a $5 and watch it on her Disney Plus on Premier Access. So
yeah,
you know what
like
I mean?
between, so like what, let's say let's average it, about 10 people watched Black Widow altogether from Sandy's account.
Yeah.
So 10 people paid €20.
Yeah.
Basically, to watch it, which is
crazy.
And then if we wanted to watch it again, we could just log in.
Yeah. And I've seen some people say, oh, but maybe she's getting a percentage of the Disney Plus revenue, and it's like they never renegotiated her contract, so that's not in her contract.
Yeah.
Because they didn't know they were going to have to do this, which is fine. And I get that, like, nobody could have known what was going to happen with the pandemic and all this kind of stuff. But
it's such a simple thing of they knew it was going to go on Disney Plus when they decided it. And They went, all they had to do was go, hey, SJ, we're going to do this thing. How would you like this renegotiated into your contract?
Yeah. But I think it'll go one of two ways. I think either it'll get settled out of court and she'll just get a lump sum. But I actually think she's going to want to set a precedent, especially the fact they've dropped her for Tower of Terror.
They dropped her, but I think she also said that she wasn't going back to anything to do with Disney anymore. She was like, I'm done with you guys. Yeah. But also the fact that they were like, we want to do this quietly, and she was like, get fucked, you want to do this quietly, we're going to court.
They put out a press release being like, yeah, I mean, she already got paid her like 20 million like flat fee, and it's like, no, I'm sorry, regardless of that, stop trying to make her look like a money hungry like brat. Like, no, you broke her contract, like, fuck you guys.
Yeah. So. I've seen pretty much like 99% of the shit I've read is give the woman her money.
Yeah.
And then, like, every now and again, it's like, that bitch, she already got 20 something, blah blah blah. Why is she looking for more? And I'm like, because that's her job. She was the lead in a Marvel movie. Mm-hmm. She deserves her money. Like, yeah, is it an outrageous amount of money? Yes, it is. But that's the industry.
That's Hollywood. Like, you want to talk about problematic amounts of money? That's fine. That's a different conversation.
We're currently talking about a woman in the industry trying to get paid the money she was told she was going to get paid.
Exactly. And trying to get the same like follow through of her contract that every one of her male counterparts received for their standalone movies.
Yeah.
So
I just can't believe that they thought that she wasn't going to notice. Like, when literally the main thing in her contract is, yeah, the majority of your money is going to come from the box office figures.
Like, there's a reason why they pushed her movie back so long. Like, that was supposed to come out last year. Last summer, this movie was supposed to come out. And they kept moving it because they didn't want to put it on Premier Access because that's not what her contract said. And then they were just like, fuck it.
You know what, fuck it. Maybe she won't notice.
Like, but yeah, I'll leave a link to that episode of The Emily Show. It's fascinating to listen to. But also just in general, if you're a person that is interested in that kind of thing, the Britney Spears episodes.
I'd be very interested to listen to the Britney Spears ones, because as much as I try to, I don't understand everything that's going on.
Yeah,
I'm not educated that way.
She'll give you the full context of conservatorships and stuff like that, because even like Irish law, very different to American law, and all this kind of stuff. So it's a good one. It's a good listen. But on the subject of Sandy, so we mentioned before on the last episode, so Sandy that paints the beautiful jackets. Sandy's doing some ready-made jackets, and they are dropping on September 1st, which I believe is next Tuesday. Wednesday.
It's Ed's birthday.
Oh,
it is Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday. I was like, oh shit, maybe I fucked up.
So September 1st, we will leave a link to Sandy's Instagram in the show notes. I'm sure she'll be posting about it on there, but
as we pretty much always do.
Exactly. But from what I've seen, there's a real cute pumpkin jacket, which is unfortunately not in my size, as she has just told me, and I'm a little bit heartbroken.
Yeah.
There's a real cute castle one with a little Mickey Mouse head. She wants to do the Sleeping Beauty castle from DLP as well. So from what I have seen, they're very cute. Would highly recommend. Go check them out. So I'll leave Sandy in the show notes as well.
Right.
One last thing that I wanted to mention. Have you watched Vivo on Netflix?
No.
It's very cute. I think you'd really like it.
It's the Lin-Manuel Miranda one, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's a Netflix original. Score is done by Lin-Manuel Miranda. He's the main little character as well, the little monkey dude. It's a real cute movie. Real cute movie. It's got a cute little old man in it. Kind of has some up vibes to it. Has a lot of Princess and the Frog vibes in the animation. There's like different styles in it, and it kind of goes very, you know that sequence in when it's Tiana's place, she's dancing around, very like that. There is also the main little girl character in it. She has a bomb ass song. She is real freaking cute. Highly recommend watching Vivo. It's just a good just little
wholesome movie.
Yeah. It, to use a Christmas cracker term, it would definitely be the big movie.
Oh wow, right, okay.
would recommend. So that was the only other thing that I wanted to mention.
Okay, great. So without further ado, let's buzz through some DLP news and get to what everyone wants us to complain about.
Yeah.
So, we're going to fly through these. Lion King inspired show Rhythm of the Pride Lands will return to the Frontierland Theatre on October 23rd, 2021. Great to see live entertainment returning to DLP because, fuck me, it needs it.
Oh, big time. Oh, big time. There's a new package available for DLP, so you can get PhotoPass for €24 instead of €74. Plus 3 free photo prints and frames for Sundays to Thursdays. For arrivals starting from August 25th to September 30th, but you must have booked before September 22nd, 2021. All of this takes place within 2021, so they're real looking for bookings.
August 25th to... so it's literally...
from tomorrow.
It's literally 5 days. So, I mean, it's a great offer.
No, it's September 30th. Did I say August 30th?
Oh, sorry, from August
So it's
25th
just over
to
a month.
September. Oh, it's a month.
Yeah.
That was my fault. I got dyslexic there.
Yeah, €24 for a photo pass. That's not bad.
But also, the prints with a frame are
Yeah.
about €20 each anyway.
Yeah,
So that's pretty good.
be cute. So
I'd like, if I was I'd take it.
yeah,
Like, I'd do that.
same.
Easily.
Big same.
No questions asked. For the ultimate princess celebration, this Princess Week has caused so much uproar online between them releasing Genie Plus and all that nonsense, and then being like, so yeah, Genie Plus and paid Princess Week. It's International Princess. Everyone's like, what the fuck are you talking about? What the fuck is this shit?
It's
So for the ultimate princess celebration, Disneyland Paris invited French celebrities to step into the fairy tale sets of the parks in custom-made princess-inspired outfits. Check out these mesmerizing photos featuring, I'm probably going to say these wrong because they're all French, Michael Augusto, Sophie Trem, Elsa Makeup, and Cerise Calaxti?
I don't know.
It definitely sounds better in a French accent. I mean, they're cute photos.
The photos are beautiful.
But was that the best way to spend their money? Probably not.
Probably not.
Great diversity, though. Fantastic diversity.
Honestly, like, that's what I said to Kate. I was like, this isn't really news, but the photos are beautiful. They have your man Michael dressed in a like Disney bound-esque version, but a much higher quality version of Belle, which I'm very here for the fact that they've included a man in the photo shoot. But also there is a woman in a bomb-ass Elsa dress in the Frozen set who's in a wheelchair, and I'm very here for the diversity in these photos.
The girl who's in the green dress is definitely somewhere between a size 12 and a 16.
Yes, not a twig. Very here for it.
Yeah. So much diversity. Like, it's so much diversity. It's fantastic.
Good job, DLP. Very here for it. Another thing I'm very here for is, so they're really just trying to add anything and everything in and around Cars Road Trip to make it look like it's something useful.
Guys, look over here.
They've done a real DCA thing with this, which I'm very here for. It's very cute. So they have two big brown gates, and they've like spray painted basically to infinity and beyond, and put some like sketch version of Buzz Lightyear's wings on the gate, and it's like a cute little photo opportunity. I would go. I would stand in front of it. I would take a picture. I'll hold my hands up and say that. It looks hella cute.
I mean, they're not making me pay for it. I'll do it. That's going to be the new tagline. Does it cost extra? I'll do it. Also, I know we're all buzzing to know, but pin trading events are back in Disneyland Paris from September 18th. Disney's Newport Bay Club will host a Little Mermaid themed event from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. with exclusive pins, food, and surprises. Oh, I love the fact that whenever DLP release something, they're like, and surprises.
They're like, we don't actually know what we're doing, so surprise.
Yeah, they're like, surprise. Surprise for me and a surprise for you too.
Ridiculous.
Tickets are €55, which include brunch and the pin offer. The pin that'll be on sale on August 26th. Oh, they go on sale August 26th, 11 a.m. on the official website. And they also released a little thing for it, which is super cute. September 18th, 11 to 3. Limited to 400 people. Event access and pin sale conditions: nominative access upon ID presentation. Purchase is restricted to people attending this event. No pin reservations through mail order services. Upon presentation of the shopping list included in the welcome kit handed at check-in. So basically,
good to know that DLP still got those real confusing translations going.
Yeah, basically.
What does that? What?
Basically, you'll get a shop. I think you get a little page in your welcome kit that's going to have a picture of all the pins, and you tick which ones you'd like to buy, and then you may buy those ones. But no one else, basically, you can't just wander into the room and be like, I'd like that pin, please. You can only buy it if you have one of these shopping lists that's been ticked. Because I assume once you've bought it, they like stamp it or cross it out, so you can't buy another one.
Fair.
That is my guess. Upon return, the Offre Magique coupon included in your welcome package, you will receive the pin featured on the coupon at the value of €15 for the purchase of at least one pin at the value of €15 minimum.
Nice. Good. Fantastic.
So yeah, I'm sure French people are excited about that.
Yeah. And then on the Ultimate Princess Celebration week, which, I mean, it finishes the day this episode comes out, but still, they released some very DLP desserts. So there's mini pastries for the tea time at the Plaza Gardens and Victoria's. You could get a Bell milkshake at Victoria's, and then there were ice cream snacks at the March Hare, Fantasia Gelati, and Gibson Girl. There was a lot of cake with coloured frosting and a real bad white chocolate thing of a princess stuck in it.
They just always give them such pretty photos and pretty backgrounds. And I'm like, why are the food stylists putting more effort into this than the people making the food?
Yeah, because the people in, like, not the people, the food in the photos always looks shite.
Yeah, because it is.
Like, the setup, beautiful. The food looks terrible.
And then it looks even worse when you get it in the park. Someone hands something to you and I'm like, what the fuck is this shit?
Yeah. Before we get on to talk about Disney Genie, I wanted to just quickly ask you, have you watched any of the vlogs from Boo Bash?
Yeah, have I ever?
What's your thoughts?
It's shit. The whole thing is shit. It's absolutely ridiculous. The cavalcades are crap. The only good thing is that you get on really low wait times. But the past 2 weeks there's been a tropical storm in Florida and all the kids have gone back to school. So wait times have been pretty low anyway.
Yeah.
You still get to trick or treat, which is great. That's one of my from an event I've never been to. That's my favorite thing. Mm-hmm. But the cavalcades are crap. I still think the cavalcades are crap. I know that lately there's been a lot of people wanting the cavalcades to stay, and I think there are a lot of people who have little kids because they don't like standing around in the sun for an hour and a half waiting for one big parade, and they prefer to just be wandering down Main Street or wandering through Epcot and just seeing princesses or seeing that. I'm like, I get it. I completely understand why some people do like the cavalcades. Mm-hmm. I think they're stupid and cheap.
I agree.
I don't like them. I don't like the fact that they just wander through every now and again, especially the fact that at a paid event they're shitty cavalcades that they were doing for free last year. Yep. The only eventy thing about it is you get the free popcorn, the free Mickey premium bars, and the water and the Coke and stuff. Mm-hmm. And I mean, the ones that I've watched, I think when these vloggers get there, even though the vloggers obviously have that extra money to spend because this is their job and they have to go kind of, otherwise they won't have content. I still think it's kind of like, so the one of the girls I watched, super enthused. She's really nice. She's not that annoying, and she just is very calm when she speaks. Okay. Which are two great things I look for in a vlogger. Yes. She's really slow. She speaks really slowly and she explains things very clearly, and I'm like, and she also doesn't video herself eating. So, like, she'll show the food and she'll talk about it afterwards. Yes. But she doesn't physically show herself eating. Yes. And I'm like, oh, this woman has ideas. Bit of cup. Yeah, exactly. And when she went, she was like, okay, yeah, so, like, I'm going to get a bottle of water and I'm going to get one of these pockets of... So they do popcorn in, like, the open bucket, or they do it in, like, the closed pre-packaged ones. And she was getting, like, one of those. She was getting, like, a water. She was getting a Coke. She was getting a premium bar. And I was like, yeah. Like, I think once they get there, they're like, I'm going to have to get my money's worth somehow. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to take it via these €6 or $6 ice cream bars and this $5 bottle of water. Because it's really shit when you get in there. Like, nothing's going on. Yeah. Sorry, that was my... No, entirely fair. Just went out of there. So, I keep watching them and I'm like, this is crap. Why are we repeatedly going? Yeah. So I watched the video that the Diz put out about it, and I watched a couple. Tim Tracker's gone twice, I think. And I hate the fact that they're doing the cavalcades, and I hate the fact that they've basically just taken a handful of the floats from Boo to You, and they just periodically put them out throughout the night, and then take that Maleficent float from the regular day parade and put her out. And she also doesn't always breathe fire. I know she can't always breathe fire. I know it's a technical issue, but you'd really think they'd really fucking try and make sure she can breathe fire. Yeah, and I hate that they are putting those to Boo to You, because it's like, it's not the Boo to You parade. No. So, like, stop taking bits of Boo to You and it not being Boo to You. That I hate. I think the character sightings, I mean, sure, whatever. They're shit.
I hate the Chip and Dale don't match.
Yeah.
It's a really small thing. Don't get me wrong. I hate the DLP Friday
like,
costumes. This is
they're
long spoken about.
They're like a vampire and a pirate or something, aren't they?
Why do they not match? And then you also have Goofy being a pirate, and it's like, what?
That was unnecessary.
Why?
The only good character encounter I think in Boo Bash is the Winnie the Pooh one.
Yes.
You're basically standing beside them. The rest of them are shit.
True. And then Tigger's also a pirate as well. It's like, I'm sorry, how do all of these characters why is everyone only a pirate? Like, what is going on?
That's all we got, sorry.
All of the treats and stuff that I've seen seem to be disgusting.
Oh, like the specialty ones that you have to pay for. It seems to be a
lot
extra.
Of milkshakes, yeah.
Also, the churros apparently aren't made fresh continuously throughout the night.
Yes.
So if you go there a little bit later, they're a bit shit.
Yeah. So any of the treats that I've seen, people seem to think it's crap. The merch, there's no exclusive merch for the Boo Bash parties, which I find wild. There also doesn't seem to be an adult spirit jersey this year for the Halloween season, which I also find absolutely wild.
Which is mad, because the kids' one's really cute.
Yeah. Oh, believe me, I've been very tempted to see if I can fit into the older kids one. Yeah. I'll hold my hands up. If I was in Florida, would I pay to go to one of these? Yes, I would. And I know I would. And
I definitely wouldn't.
There is no point in me saying I wouldn't, because it's a spooky event, and even if the only thing I can really do is go around and do trick-or-treating and stuff, I would probably still... there's no point in me saying that I wouldn't do it. I know I would. Would I be happy about it? No. Do I think they're worth the money? Absolutely not. But I'm not going to sit here and be a hypocrite and slag it off and act like I wouldn't go when I know for a fact I probably would. But when you see the pricing for that for a night for really substandard compared to Mickey's Not So Scary, which was cheaper
and way better.
Way better. Yes, the crowds were way bigger, but you kind of have to, and especially I think the fact that in 2019 they had that, it was like $300 or $350 for like a season pass for Mickey's Not So Scary.
Yeah,
so you could go as many times as you wanted. Because don't get me wrong, I don't think you can do everything at Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party in one night. I did it back in 2015 and I couldn't do everything in the one night. I definitely think you need at least 2 to be able to do characters and all the stuff in the hub.
To comfortably enjoy.
Exactly.
To not stress the fuck out.
Exactly. So the fact that for some nights you're paying half of what that like season pass was to go once.
Nothing.
And to get not even a quarter, like you don't get fireworks, you don't get the Sanderson Sisters show, you're not getting a parade, you're not getting character meet and greets, you're not getting exclusive merchandise, you're getting none of that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I don't know where I land on it.
I think it's crazy. Personally, obviously, if it came to this and I saw it, I definitely wouldn't be paying for it. But I'm not that big of a Halloween fan anyway. I'd probably go to Mickey's Not So Scary because that's an event.
Yeah.
That's an event.
Yeah.
And there's so much going on. See, this is what it comes down to. I'd happily pay to go to Mickey's Not So Scary twice.
Yeah.
Maybe even 3 times. If that's what we were doing.
Yes.
But I wouldn't happily pay one night for this.
True. This feels like the DLP one.
Except
but the
you
DLP
pay for
one
it.
is like €60.
Oh, you meant like the event. Sorry.
Yeah.
I thought you meant to.
But even then, daytime and DLP, you get more than this.
Yeah. I really think the only thing going for them is kind of like, excuse me, sorry, that you can still trick or treat. And it's like, for $100, I could go to Walmart and buy half the shelf.
Oh,
seats.
yes.
Like, and I could make my own trick-or-treat trail in my garden, for fuck's sake. Like, that's the only thing they really have going for them. And fucking Tim Tracker went, and on his second night, he was like, how many rides can we get done? And a blah, blah, blah. And like, he only did trick-or-treating because they happened to be on the way. He didn't really catch any of the cavalcades. And so he basically just went to see how many rides he could ride. I think he was like 16 or something, because he got in before the event started.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I wouldn't be willing to pay $100 to absolutely bomb it through Magic Kingdom to try and get as many rides done as possible.
Yeah.
It just seems like a complete waste of money.
I agree. But I suppose I don't know how much a day ticket is for Magic Kingdom. So
I think it's 100 and something.
Yeah, but I suppose you're only getting what you get. Even if you go the like 2 hours beforehand, you're getting maybe like 5 hours in the park. Yeah, and much lower weights and stuff. But I don't know. Do I think it's worth the money? Absolutely not. If I was there, would I go to the Halloween event? Probably.
I'm really excited to see what they're gonna do, what the Christmas one's gonna be like, because the Christmas one's more expensive than this,
and it has fireworks.
Yeah, so I'm intrigued to see what that's like.
Yeah,
when the time comes. But yeah, my consensus is it's exactly what I thought it was going to be. Overpriced shit. Also, nearly every vlog I've watched, the signs have been up to say it's out, to say it's sold out, and by the end of the vlog, they've always met someone who bought a ticket on the night.
Literally,
and
every single time.
Like, what's going on? Like, are they sold out or are they not?
Yeah, it's weird.
It's almost like they say they're sold out for capacity reasons, but if you walk up to them and are like, I'd like to give you $120, they're like, yeah, we'll take your money.
Yeah, true. Bob Chapek ain't going to say no to anything.
No. So, yeah.
But anyways, more on Disney and a money grab. Do you wanna tell the lovely people about?
Yes. So remember 2 weeks ago when we were like, "Hey, this thing might be happening," and we're hoping that Disney's gonna bring out an official thing. Well, boy, did they! So in the past few days, they've introduced the Disney Genie service, which was released last year-ish, but they didn't really do anything with it because COVID. So the Disney Genie service is basically this app on your phone that's meant to maximize your day. It's meant to tell you when the best time is to go to the rides that you want to go to based on the wait times. But with this new one, they have added an update called Genie Plus, which you guessed it, ladies and gentlemen, it's paid Fast Pass. But they're not calling it Fast Pass, they're calling it Lightning Lane. But also have yet to link Lightning McQueen to it, which I think is a bit sad. So, for the price of... Now, you gotta bear with me, because it's really confusing. So, for the price of $15 per ticket per day at Walt Disney World, and $20 per ticket per day at Disneyland Resort, choose the next available time to arrive at a variety of attractions and experiences using the Lightning Lane entrance. You can make one selection at a time throughout the day, from classics like Haunted Mansion to thrill rides like Big Thunder, and newer favourites like Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run. Attractions subject to limited availability, which is fair. They can obviously only give out so many Lightning Lane passes a day, which was the exact same as Fast Pass. There's a limit, otherwise it doesn't work.
Yeah.
This convenient option is the next evolution of the fan favourite Disney Max Pass service from the Disneyland Resort. Disney Genie Plus will also include Disney Parks themed audio experiences and photo features to capture your memories, augmented reality lenses for those visiting Walt Disney World Resort, and unlimited Disney Photo Pass downloads from your day if you're visiting Disneyland Resort. But then underneath that, so you're thinking, okay, $15 a day, I can continuously pick them as I finish them, okay, not too bad. But then schedule a time to arrive at up to 2 highly demanded attractions each day using the Lightning Lane entrance, like Seven Dwarfs Mine Train at Magic Kingdom and Radiator Springs Racers at Disney California Adventure Park. Subject to limited availability, attractions not included with Disney Genie Plus. Pricing for this option will vary by date, attraction and park and will be announced closer to launch. So, what you do is, you pay your $15. Opens at 7 a.m. At 7 a.m, you can pick one Lightning Lane. One.
Yeah.
Then, once you've used that Lightning Lane, once the park opens, you can hope and fucking pray that there's another one possibly available after that. But if you want to get on a good ride, which would have used to be known as e-ticket attractions. Yeah. Basically, like Rise of the Resistance, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, anything that usually has a wait time of up to, on average, 180 minutes. Obviously not counting Rise of the Resistance because that's continuously been on a boarding group basis.
Yeah.
You're going to have to pay extra money on top of Genie Plus to be able to then get Lightning Lane access to those rides.
Do you have to pay for Genie Plus to get Lightning Lane Plus?
They haven't said.
Okay.
People have asked and they're like, no.
Okay, cool.
And people have also asked, how much do you think this money will be? Like, how much do you think it'll cost for me to get a Lightning Lane to Rise of the Resistance? And Disney are like, no.
Cool.
What Lightning Lane?
Jesus Christ.
But it's probably going to be that you have to have Genie Plus on your phone.
Okay.
To be able to get the other ones.
Okay.
Because I don't think it works otherwise.
Fair.
So you're probably going to be paying your $15 a day, and then what I imagine is probably around $10. I imagine it's going to be about $10 on the low days, maybe $8 for Snow White, Rise of the Resistance, all that sort of stuff.
Okay.
The only good thing that seemed to come out of this was the fact that the DAS program is now included in this app, which is the Disability Access Service.
Yes.
Which means you can do it before you get there, which
but
a lot of people seem to be happy about, and then other people weren't happy about it.
Yeah, because it does now limit you. So you can only have 2 attractions at a time now. You can only book 2 attractions per day.
And people were like, I can't do that because my child is autistic and they will freak the fuck out.
Yeah.
Basically. So, yeah. I mean, and the other thing is, so when buying Genie Plus, we're going in January for 2 weeks. We can buy Genie Plus for our entire stay in one lump sum, or we can buy it at midnight the night before for the day, and then have to get up again at 7 a.m. to try and book our first Lightning Lane.
Right.
Now, people are saying you don't have to stay up till midnight to buy it, but I'm like, surely there's a limit to how many Genie Pluses they're allowed to sell a day.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it's not going to work. Same as
True.
FastPass. So if you get up at 6:30 to buy your Genie Plus and they're sold out, like, tough shit.
Yeah.
So
and is there so if you were to buy yours up front for your full trip, is there like there's no reduction in cost? It's just
no,
right.
No.
Cool.
Sinead, please. A discount.
I know.
Yeah, so it's what we expected. So basically it's $15 in Disney World because it's new. And it's still $20 in Disneyland because that's how much Max Pass was. And they're basically like, people were already paying for Max Pass, so we know they're happy with the $20 price tag. But in Disney World, it's something new, so it's only $15.
Yeah, plus the one thing to note is that, one, this is not the same as Max Pass, because Max Pass was all attractions.
Yeah.
And you still had access to Fast Pass in Disneyland, even if you didn't have Max Pass. But also, there is no mention of this including your photos for the day, which Max Pass included your photo pass for the day.
Oh,
and there's
no, it
no
does.
mention of that. Oh, it does?
It does. Yeah,
okay.
For Disneyland.
Okay.
So in Disney World, you get some kind of augmented reality lens. And in Disneyland, you get your Disney Photo Pass downloads.
So that's what the extra $5 is, I guess.
Wow. So basically, everyone's pissed. And initially, I was too.
Understandably.
But when you think about it, it's not the worst thing in the world.
Okay.
I'm not for it. I think it's stupid and I hate Disney and they're really fucking pushing my buttons. But as a childless millennial in a 2-income household, we can swing it. It's fine. Do you know what I mean? Like, we can do it. To be able to access Lightning Lane for the 2 weeks that we're there, it's an extra, in euros, about £100.
Okay.
So, like, it's not the biggest thing. Like, per person, it's not the biggest deal.
Okay. And would you do it every day?
See, the problem is we weren't going to because I say we weren't going to. I'm only the one making decisions here.
Entirely fair.
I was like, this is what we're doing.
Ed is like, Amy, Ed just needs to know how much he needs.
Yeah, I was basically like, look, we're probably going to need it, like, to be able to get shit done. So we're just going to have to fall to the whim of Chapek. I was like, there's no other choice. Either way, that or we just don't go because we're going to have a shit time because we're not going to be able to get on anything. So there's a couple of days. So, like, the day we go to Universal, the day we go to the outlets, the day we just don't go to the park and we just chill by the pool. Like, there are days we weren't planning on going to the park. So I was like, we don't need tickets for those days because we're not even going to be in the park.
Yeah.
But if the only option is buy it all at once or get up at midnight to buy it, then I'm like, for the sake of the extra $30, well, €30, it'll basically be €35. Like, because people are right. Like, I'm after spending the whole day at the park. I've stayed till fireworks. I'm knackered. I'm going home, having a shower, going to bed. I have to wake up again at midnight, buy my Genie Plus, go back to sleep around 12:30, maybe 1 o'clock, then set my alarm again for 7 a.m. Probably before that, set it for 6:30, so that you're on the app for 7, because it's going to be like Rise of the Resistance, basically, trying to get a boarding pass, and hope to God that you can get a lightning lane. That is ridiculous. Like, now you're not even letting me sleep on my vacation that's already not a vacation.
Yeah.
It's just they've not done it very well.
No.
And they've brought it out at a time when people don't have a lot of money to begin with and are still trying to keep their tradition alive of going to Disney World.
Yeah.
And they're making it very difficult.
Yeah.
Just in general.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know.
Then,
like, they're taking what was already, and don't get me wrong, I am well aware that there are people that can afford to do big Disney trips every year. There are people that can afford to do big Disney trips multiple times a year. We are not those people. Like, these are kind of once in a lifetime or once every, 10 plus years trips for us. But it's just every time an announcement like this happens, it's pushing it more and more out. Like, it's making that gap between trips more and more, which I suppose is what they're after, because the main complaint they get is, the parks are too crowded, everything's too busy. So if you just keep pricing people out, then you stop having that problem.
Yeah, so basically the consensus from people is the people who are like, once you get over the fact that you're annoyed and are like, well, this is what Disney's doing. If you're an annual... Oh, also, there's no add-on to your annual pass. So if you're an annual pass holder, you can't just add it on in your annual pass fee. You also have to buy it individually for every day you go.
Okay. Helpful.
Which people are also like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
But basically that means that if you're an annual pass holder, you might drop your annual pass lower and you're just going to go less. Or you're going to use your annual pass less, which means there's going to be less people in the park. But then at the same time, there's going to be no one buying food, no one buying merchandise. But there are people buying Genie Plus. So it all balances itself out. So you have less people going to the park, but the people that are going are spending more money than they ever had to.
Yeah.
So less people, more money.
Yeah. I was listening to... So the dads put out an emergency episode the other day. And Nick made a very good point. Because Craig initially said he was like $15 a day. He was like, that's a beer. He was like, I would drink that and not even notice it. He was like, that's a drink. And Nick made the very good point of, if you even kind of scale that back, even if you're someone that maybe wouldn't spend money on a pint or whatever, that's like a pin, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's a pin. And where you paying this additional, say, 150 euro and factoring that into your budget and whatnot, that might be a couple less pins maybe that you might not buy, or it might be a Spirit jersey less or whatever. Like, to Disney, they're still getting that money regardless, but they're actually getting the money for doing nothing. Whereas beforehand, they would have had to give you a tangible thing. Now it's just like they're just giving you having to give them money for something that you never had to give them money for before, because they're literally just getting money for thin air.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's
exactly.
wild.
So obviously, basically, everyone's outraged.
Yeah.
And I understand why everyone's outraged. But then also, people are right when they're like, every other theme park in Florida already charges for this.
Yeah.
But at the same time, one of the biggest debates that I've seen come up is people are like, Universal's done this for ages, blah, 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 blah. But when you buy the Universal one, you can go on as many rides. If you buy the highest one, the like free-for-all one, you can go on as many rides as you like, as many times, apart from the Jurassic Park one, I think is the only one that's not included at the moment, and maybe Hagrid's. You can go on all of them as many times as you like, whenever you want.
Yeah.
You've, like, one of the biggest selling points for Disney Plus, not Disney Plus, Genie Plus, is enjoy more flexibility and fun.
This does not sound flexible.
This does not sound flexible at all.
Yeah.
Like, then on the opposite side of things, it's like, well, if no one buys it, there's just going to be the standby line. And COVID has proven that if there's no fast pass at all, the standby line just moves along in a nice chuggable place, and it never gets too long anyway, because there's nobody stopping the standby line to let 20 fast pass people in. But people are going to pay it. So I'm like, okay, well, that's not going to happen though. So what are you going to do? I
think where Disney are kind of drawing the line is that Disney make a shed load of money from the likes of your VIP tours. And I think they don't want to lessen the product that is a VIP tour, because if you want to be able to go on everything that you want to go on in a day, you'll just pay for a VIP tour. Why not do that? I do like that they are limiting the number of Lightning Lane Plus things that you can have. So it's not just Billy Big Bollocks going in with his thousands of dollars and buying every single Lightning Lane that you can possibly get for every single park for every single day. So I like that they are containing it to a degree. Like, there is only so much money per day an individual can spend on this.
Yeah.
Unless you do want to do a VIP tour, and then you just have stupid money, and I mean, do with it what you will.
Like, if I was on my deathbed, I'd be like, yep, take the rest of my money and let's
go. I think where there's a slight difference with the Universal kind of thing is that, one, I'm pretty sure Universal's day tickets are slightly cheaper. So there is also that. And if you stay in a deluxe resort in Universal, you get that for free.
Yeah, that's the other thing. People are like, because then there's been a lot of arguments here. Like, a lot of people have some really good points about this. They were like, it's fine that in the grand scheme of things, it's fine that Disney has released this. Like, it was only a matter of time before they started charging for this, because they're the only place that doesn't. Yeah. And it was inevitable that they were going to move with the times of, we're charging for this now.
Yeah.
But what they've done is they've not made it of any value to the guest. Yeah. So they've not included it in any new packages. They're not planning on including it in any new packages. Yeah. They're not doing any deals. They're not adding it to annual passes. They're not doing a deal if you're a family. Like, they've not made it sellable, basically. No, they've basically just been like, give us more money, thanks, goodbye.
They've also made it incredibly confusing. Like, just in general. So, like, I am a person that, like, I am constantly, if it's not vlogs, it is Twitter, it is podcasts. I am pretty much on a daily basis consuming Disney content. And I have watched numerous YouTube videos and listened to numerous vlogs about this. And I still don't actually fully understand what this thing is. And I am a person that is that is looking into it. If I'm a family that just rock up to Walt Disney World, I'm not going to have a fucking clue what any of this different things means. Whereas if I'm a family that rock up to Universal, I know I can either stand in a queue, I can get Express that I can go on everything once, or I can get Express that I can go on everything as many times as I want. These are my three options.
So simple. So simple.
There's no in between. There's no this amount, these many things, this many things, blah, blah, blah. I even think, whilst I hate the DLP version of it more, because I feel like the DLP one is a sheer money grab. And it's literally, how much money have you got? How much money are you willing to spend on this? And I also think it's very deceiving, the way that they word it, as we mentioned on the last episode. The DLP one is, again, more straightforward. It's just, you want to go on a ride, you pay to go on the ride, happy days.
Yeah. But imagine, so like imagine being the front, like you've arrived, you're logging into your hotel, you're checking into your hotel, and the person is like, oh, do you have the Genie app downloaded? Because when you check in, they're going to be like, let's make your stay a bit easier. Have you got all these things?
Yeah.
And they're like, what app? And you're like, oh, the Genie app, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, oh, okay. And they're like, yeah, you can link your credit card to it. And they're like, oh, why would I want to link my credit card to it? It's like, oh, because we have Genie Plus. Mm-hmm. And they're like, oh, what's Genie Plus? And it's like, well, Genie Plus will allow you into the lightning lane. What the fuck's the lightning lane? And I guarantee you they won't be allowed to use the word fast pass anymore.
Yeah.
And then they'll have to explain what lightning lane is. And then they'll be like, okay, cool. So it's basically fast pass. We can just get on rides quicker. And they're like, yes, but you also have to be up at 7 a.m. to book your first lightning lane. And you can't book another lightning lane until you've used that one.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, also, remember, you can only book a lightning lane for the park that you have a reservation to. Because reservations aren't going away for at least another 3 years.
I don't think they're ever going away.
But they've said it. They've said minimum 3 years. They'll review it. So if you've booked in advance, because you have to, otherwise you're not fucking getting in, a reservation for Magic Kingdom. I have a reservation for Magic Kingdom. Great. I've bought my Genie Plus. I've logged into my Lightning Lane. It's 7 a.m. I want to kill someone. I go on to Lightning Lane. I'm for the life of me trying to get a Lightning Lane for Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. I know I have to pay extra. That's fine. I'm ready to go with my payment details. Fuck it, we're doing it. I want to get on this ride. Boom, gone. But I can get a Lightning Lane for Millennium Falcon. They've been sitting there for a good 10 minutes now. Can I get it? No. Because I don't have a reservation for that park. And the only way to get a reservation for that park is cancelling my Magic Kingdom one to then hope and pray that there's one for Hollywood Studios. But you can't know if there's an available one for Hollywood Studios until you cancel your one for Magic Kingdom. So then you run the risk of cancelling your Magic Kingdom reservation, not being able to get into Hollywood Studios, and then you're left with no reservations, but you've paid your $120 to get into the park that you can't get into because you don't have a reservation for it.
It's wild. Like, it's so confusing and so overly complicated.
Is ride some fucking roller coasters and eat a lot of things that are really bad for me. Why can't they just let me do this in peace?
Like, I find the whole thing ridiculous. Like, like, don't get me wrong. I know that a lot of people had issues with FastPass Plus and the fact that you would have to book your fast passes 60 days in advance and all that, and a lot of people,
to be honest, I also never really got that. I thought that was quite confusing also.
But I
don't think this is the answer.
And this is beyond more confusing. But I personally, like, I'm a person, I enjoy planning. I love a spreadsheet, big fan of a spreadsheet. And I liked knowing that when I got up on like day one of my trip, I knew I was going to Magic Kingdom, and I knew I had a fast pass for, I don't know, Haunted Mansion, Pirates of the Caribbean, and Big Thunder Mountain. So I knew at a minimum, just me waking up, like straight out the gate, didn't have to do anything. I just knew I was going to Magic Kingdom and I was going on these 3 rides at a minimum. Anything else that I got done, happy days. And any of the fast passes I might be able to get, happy days. But I knew walking in, no extra stress or effort on any single day of my trip. I knew every single day, here are 3 rides that I'm going to get to go on. Happy days. And it's adding that, like we've said before, like a Disney holiday is not a holiday. It is a trip. And it, like, you almost need a couple of days to recuperate after a Disney trip. And now, whereas you would be able to, especially with Disney World, all your stress and your planning and all that kind of stuff, you had like when you'd book, and then you'd have your 180 days for reservations, and then you would have your 60 days for fast passes. But once you were done, you didn't have to worry about a single thing.
Yeah, you just had to
Everything was
arrive.
done. You just had to show up and then just check the app, see what the wait times were like, see what else you might be able to get on. Were there any other fast passes available when you'd used up your 3? Like, that was it. Like, you didn't have to worry about being awake at 7 a.m. and booking a fast pass and Lightning Lane or whatever. Like, it just... I will say, I don't envy you having to navigate this.
I'm just like, it's just ridiculous, and people haven't been quiet about it. Like, no. The YouTube videos have... The main one currently has basically 10,000 downvotes against 800 upvotes. And then there's a separate one that has about 7,000 downvotes up beside 700 upvotes. Yeah. And I've never seen, also on the Disney Park blog, I have never seen so many comments underneath one of these posts.
Yeah.
And basically every single one of them is... Bob Chapek is disgracing the Disney name. Yeah. And one, I agree with them, but also at the same time, Bob Iger is still on that board.
Oh, 100%. Plus, this has been in plan. Like, Disney Genie was announced at the last D23. Like, this has been in the works for a while.
I think this would have come out sooner if it hadn't have been for
exactly
COVID,
now, basically. Do I think they've tweaked and changed it and probably tried to maximize profits on it because of COVID? Without a doubt. But, I'm sorry, people who are putting Bob Iger and Josh D'Amaro up on a fucking pedestal, I'm sorry, Josh D'Amaro is still the head of Parks and Resorts right now.
Yeah.
And Bob Iger is still on the board. And Bob Iger, Disney don't just pluck, I'm sorry, Disney don't pluck anything out of the sky. Disney take years and years to fucking release anything. Yeah. I'm sorry, Bob Iger was involved in this. Not everything, don't get me wrong, I hate Bob Chapek. First person to say that. But... you can't just put all of this on Bob Chapek. Just because Josh D'Amaro has a smile and is in the parks all the time doesn't mean he's not responsible for this as well.
See, but at the same time... I completely agree. At the same time, people are like, Eisner was a time, but by God did he do a lot for the parks.
Yeah.
And so did Bob Iger.
Yeah.
Did so much. He took what Eisner did, fixed it, and made it what it needed to be.
Yeah.
And to be fair... Chapek has come along with a fucking bulldozer and been like, fuck you all, bitches.
Yeah. It's just...
And again, obviously, it's difficult. It's really easy to put Chapek out because he's at the top. Mm-hmm. And we all know that everything that's happening, he's had to agree with. And I think that's why Chapek's name gets thrown around a lot because at the end of the day, it's him. So Iger's still on the board, but he's like, yeah, okay, do whatever you want. Just keep paying me.
Yeah.
This isn't my problem, really. Thanks, goodbye.
Yeah, I get you. So, I had a look around earlier. So, Chris from the Dads had put in a little screenshot of he priced up a family trip in 2019 for a family of 4, and then a family trip from 2021, doing kind of similar prices and stuff like that. And I was like, I wonder if I still have my... confirmation email from 2015 when I went to Disney World. And miraculously, in the dregs of the folders on my Gmail account, I did.
Wow.
So I went, and I thought it'd be interesting to kind of have a look and see what was included in my package then and how much that cost me versus if I was to book a similar thing for 2022. I didn't do 2021 because obviously when I went, it would be over the 50th. We're that bit too close now. It wouldn't have been a fair comparison. So I did 2022. So in 2015, I stayed in All-Star Movies. I was there for 9 nights, 10 days. I booked my flights through Disney and they were with American Airlines. Never fly American Airlines. Oh my God, they were atrocious. But anyways, I had a 14-day ticket. I had the quick service dining plan thrown in for free on that. I also got a free Magic Band with my stay. And then I also had the Magical Express to get me to and from the parks. So that trip cost me for 2 people €3,520 and 28 cents.
Oh my God!
Right, and then I have included in it because you now get PhotoPass for free. I didn't get PhotoPass for free, so that was an additional $200. So it cost around about $3,700 for 2 people for all of that. Okay,
that was including your flights.
That was including flights. That was everything. Wham bam. So. For 9 nights, 10 days, PhotoPass, and then a 14-day ticket, it's €2,544. So when I initially looked that up, I then text Kate and I was like, man, I was kind of shocked that like I thought it was going to be much more.
Mm-hmm.
But, and that's why I said to you like, oh, it wasn't what I expected.
Yeah.
But now I've gone in and I've added all the extras.
Yeah.
So
I'm like, there's nothing in that package. You basically have
There
your
is
tickets
nothing.
and your bed.
Yeah. So I factored in around, so Chris had in his a Mears transfer between MCO and Disney World at 118 for a family of 4. Now, I don't know. So I've just stuck in $100 for transport to and from because now you won't get Magical Express anymore. I factored in about $20 for a Magic Band. It should probably be $40. I know I would want a Magic Band because me. I also just think they're infinitely easier. I factored in around about €1,000 for flights because when we priced up things for October this year for Florida, I had found ridiculously cheap flights with Aer Lingus that were around $350. So I'm factoring in about $500 per person.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think
Ish.
on average, I think that's at a good time. That's what they are.
Right about that. So if I was to get Disney, if I was to get Genie Plus for 2 people for every day for the 10 days, that'd be €300. I worked out via the dining. So I had the quick service dining plan for free. So I've averaged, it's about $17 per quick service meal. I would have had 2 included per person per day. And then snacks as well. So I factored in, it's around about €1,100-ish that I would have had in the equivalent for like dining. And then I've added in maybe half the days that I'm there. I might want lightning lanes. I've put them at $10 for 2 rides per person for half of the days that I'm there. That's an additional €200. So the full thing that included all of my food, that included all of my fast passes and everything was €3,700. Back in 2015 is €5,320 now.
That makes a lot more sense.
And it's that kind of thing. When I initially looked it up on the Disney website, I was like, wow, that's actually not that much more different. And it's when I sat down and started adding in all of these additional little things, it's gone up nearly 40% in the 6 years since I went.
Yeah, because I think the only thing that kind of swung, like in this day and age, the only thing that kind of swung it for us when we were booking was that we were able to get that like $600 worth of dining included. Yeah. And we were like, well, to be honest, we're going to use all of that. And we're going to need all of it. So that makes it somewhat a good deal for the current time and what they're allowing. Yeah. But I think if they weren't offering anything, and I think we get Memory Maker as well. But if they weren't, but again, Memory Maker, like, that's again another like $200. So if they didn't have anything added, it's a terrible deal to go right now. Why would you?
Yeah, like it's literally $2,500 more to go now versus when I went beforehand. Which, and like, you don't get anything extra. You're infinitely getting less things.
And it's because when you bring it down to it, they're basically nickel and diming every single guest that goes to their door. And they're like, how much money do you have in your pockets right now? Cool, I'll take that. Thank you. Goodbye. Yeah.
100%. And like, that's not even factoring, like, obviously, I mean, I don't drive. So like, factoring a car and parking and stuff, I didn't even look at any of that. But like, when I went, you could park for free at your resorts.
Park for free, yeah.
Now, depending on what resort you're staying at, it's like, I think a minimum of like $15 per day, but can go up to like $50 per day.
Imagine paying $50 to park your car in a car park for a day.
It's wild, like.
It's crazy. Like, it's crazy. Like, I always forget about like the parking in Disney World because the people that we watch always have it included in their annual pass and stuff. Yeah. And or either they just don't show the parking thing. But every now and again they're like, oh, by the way, this is where parking's at. And it's like $50 to park in Magic Kingdom. And you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah. And like, I know we've mentioned before, like, when you think about the fact that a couple of weeks ago, Tim Tracker stayed in the Contemporary for like 2 nights, 3 days. They paid $50 a day to park there. Yeah,
just to park there. Just to park their little Tesla.
On top of like paying over like $1,200 a night, they're paying $50 to then park there. It's just like I don't know. It's just kind of insult to injury. It kind of feels. And it's just, I don't know. Disney make it very difficult to be a Disney fan right now.
Yeah, people are like, this is bad because the Pixie Dusters are even like, this is bad.
Yeah, it's...
The only people that are coming out being like, are like people who probably aren't going to pay for it all the time. Basically, me. Where I'm like, yeah, fuck it.
Yeah.
I'm already paying this much. What's an extra €300?
Yeah. And
to be able to somewhat enjoy myself.
Yeah. And I mean, obviously, we're saying all of this as two childless millennials. What I will do is I'll leave in the show notes, as I say, the dads have put out an episode. Obviously, they're coming at it from a very different perspective because they generally go as families. And I mean, Craig goes as a whole bus.
Wild. Imagine Craig's whole family getting Genie Plus every day.
Yeah, no. And Mr. D was even coming at it differently because if this is ever to be included in packages, like he's now a DVC member, he doesn't get UK, he wouldn't be going for UK packages anymore.
Yeah,
so I'll leave the link to their episode. They go into a bit more details about the DAS pass and stuff like that as well, which was good. And then the Diz have put out an episode as well. And obviously they're coming at it from a locals standpoint, which is, again, wildly different again. So
spoiler, no one's happy about it.
I don't see... I saw a tweet the other day and it was like, this isn't going... The, like, backlash from this isn't going away. Like, Disney have really tried to, like, hide this on their social media and any of their Instagram posts that they're posting. They posted about the new nighttime spectacular coming to Magic Kingdom for the 50th and it's literally all people being like, are you going to charge me per firework? Are you going to charge me per blast?
Also, those 50th fireworks they've specifically come out and been like, oh yeah, it's all new characters. We're paying no homage to Disney at all.
Yeah.
Like Walt Disney can get in the bin. Like what he did for 50 years for this? No.
It's wild.
We don't give a fuck about him. Here's some onward characters.
Yeah.
I just it's been said to death at this stage, but Disney is really like forgetting what they are.
Yeah.
Which I know at the end of the day is a multi-billion international conglomeration of a business. But if you think back, like, it's really not... Like, I know people say Walt Disney wasn't the best guy, but he wasn't the worst guy either. And, like, he did have a vision for Disney, and it really wasn't this.
Yeah.
So yeah. There's also, if you'd like, I know Sinead mentioned all those people. If you just put Genie Plus into YouTube, there's about 25 different videos from different people doing live streams about it. Doing my favorite guys at the moment are Clownfish TV, and they basically scroll through all comments and just read and comment on them. I think that's very funny.
Nice.
Cursed Genie, and then on top, just before we go, Genie of all characters to pick, the one character that they contractually said will never make money out of this character. Like, not only fucking piss off Walt Disney in his grave, but like, for fuck's sake, of all the characters to use, what was one comment I saw? It was like, why are you using Genie? Call it what it is, the Scrooge McDuck service.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's not going away. They didn't post about it on their TikTok, which they have been posting about all their new stuff. They basically stopped posting about it, and they're like, it's princesses, woo woo, and everyone's like, get fucked. Yeah. Everyone's like, we want to see those. We want show us the receipts. They're basically like, who are these guests who came to you? And we're like, yeah, please, Mr. Chapek.
Make it more confusing and charge me more for it.
And make it more expensive. It's exactly what we want.
Yeah. Tell me about Christmas Cracker, Kate. What's the plan for this week? I listened to your Miracle on 34th Street episode. I just need to end on a high because I'm just too angry at Disney, so I'm changing the subject.
We watched Scarecrow this week. We recorded it today.
Spoiler alert. Scarecrow?
It's not a Christmas movie. It's a movie that Sam used to watch at Christmas time. But it's not Christmassy in the slightest. But it was the end of Sam's favourites because it's the end of her birthday month.
Okay.
it's shit. If you want to hear me rip it to pieces, it's out. You can go listen to it by the time this is out.
Nice.
But next week we're starting a new theme, and it's Action Month.
Ooh,
so this is Craig's request that we do an Action Month. So we were going to start with Die Hard, but every single Die Hard movie except for the first one is on Disney Plus. So we have to find Die Hard somewhere.
Yeah.
And then Sam has a full list. There's like loads. We need 5, and she has like 15 of them on a list somewhere. So we're good. But it'll be Action Month.
I'm excited for Spooky Month.
Soon, very soon. Sooner than you might believe. So yeah. Also, here's a nice little high as well. The Spider-Man trailer was released. People were buzzing for that. It was all very exciting. Also, Zendaya and Tom Holland were getting it down at a wedding. They looked very happy together.
Oh.
It's been a bigger rumor going around as well. My TikTok really knows what I want.
Nice.
People are buzzing about this Spider-Man trailer. I think I've watched about 15 fucking breakdowns of it at this stage with 20,000 different ideas about what's going on.
Cool.
And the whole internet is fangirling over Doctor Strange as Dad.
I did see Ben and Mikey posting this, and I was like, do you know what? Fair.
It's so funny. He's in jogger bottoms, a hoodie, like a bomber jacket, and then his cape. and a cup of Joe by the fire. It's so cute.
Yeah. I'm here for it.
But yeah, if you haven't watched it, people have been fucking screaming for this shit for months. It is the confirmation of like the multiverse and all that sort of shit. So I think it's going to be a fantastic introduction to the multiverse and what the fuck's going to go on for the next couple of years. I'm really excited. I think this is the most excited I've been for a phase of Marvel.
Okay, cool.
Because it's the end of the classics that everyone knew.
Yeah.
And the start of something a bit different.
Okay, cool.
I'm very excited.
I still haven't watched it yet. I need to give it a watch.
Well, that's fine. You're not the biggest Spider-Man fan anyway.
I'm not. He's not my fave.
But
I watched Spider-Verse and I loved Spider-Verse. So
the animated one.
Yeah.
That's because that was Sony. I was about to say, that isn't even Disney news. It comes out under Sony Pictures.
Yeah. Cool.
What a time. So yeah, I'm gonna stop it there because you might cry.
This is the longest episode we've put out in a while.
That's because there's so much hate and only so little time.
Yeah.
If you guys have anything that you want to let us know of, hit us up on Instagram at Mickey Waffles Pod or on Twitter at Mickey Waffle Pod, the exact same handle with it. Yes.
Yeah, and if you're listening on an Apple device or if your podcast app of choice lets you leave a review, please do. Or even if you just want to send us a review, also do that. That's fine. Or share us around. Why not? Go for it.
Do whatever the fuck you want. Who cares?
Yeah.
We're not charging you for it, right?
No.
Look, take the positive. We ain't charging you for it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's pretty much it. Stay safe, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
This podcast is part of the After Dark Podcast Network.